Good morning and welcome to Chris Be Happy, my very first YouTube blog of my wonderful walks, early morning walks, usually on Bournemouth Beach, and I'm starting off on my favourite location, just on the East Bournemouth Overcliff, overlooking the beautiful coastline all the way up there to Henglesby Head, and Southampton's that way. Over there is the Isle of Wight. Don't know if you can see that. That's the Isle of Wight over there. Alum Chime of the Isle of Wight, the chimes of Isle of Wight, and all the way over there to Harry's Rock, Studland, Swanage. Absolutely glorious. Yeah, there's sandbanks that way, the famous sandbanks where all the rich people live. Yeah. So, why am I doing a YouTube blog rather than my quick Facebook videos that I have been now doing for maybe 6 years, ever since COVID I started, to give myself something to do in the mornings and to get myself, my brain straight? Why? Why? Always start with the why. The problem with the Facebook videos is that it doesn't like anything more than a few minutes. Maybe 5 minutes is the maximum. It doesn't like uploading more than 5 minutes. So YouTube, I googled yesterday, you can do up to 12 hours. Don't worry, I won't be taking you for a 12-hour walk. But yeah, starting with why is always the best policy. Start with the end in mind, the beginning and the end. Yeah. So anybody who has been following my videos for the past 5 or 6 years will know exactly what I do. For others that don't, basically I get up in the morning and I talk rubbish into the camera. But supposedly a lot of it has helped a lot of people, because now that I'm approaching well, I'm into my retirement age now, second year into my retirement age, approaching my 70s. I know I don't look it, so I've still got my barnet, but yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be not talking as much on these videos, because as we have more time, you have the opportunity to just see this wonderful scenery. Check that out. Yeah, and quite a few people that I've spoken to, or even come up to me a few times and said, I really like your videos. They really cheered me up in the morning and helped me get through the morning. And that's why I started them all those years ago, 6 years ago, to help myself get through some hard times that I had been struggling with. And as you get older, even younger people, everyone seems to be struggling so much. What you will notice, when there are people passing, I don't shout. I try and stop talking a little, because I've actually made someone fall over once. I don't want to get sued. Yeah, so we're now just walked down the amazing Toft zigzag onto Bournemouth Beach now, and there is just over there on the right, there is an exercise park, which more and more people, as the weather gets better, get down here in the morning and exercise for free on the beach, which is actually absolutely glorious. Why pay £50 a month, £100 a month when you can do it on the beach? Absolutely bloody glorious. Oh. First step onto the sand, yeah. Yeah, funny, I've noticed over the past year there has been quite a lot of Facebook groups popping up, men's walk and talk Facebook groups popping up for men to meet down along this beach and go for a walk in the morning. I don't know whether I started something, but over the past year, yes. There's one at Sandbanks, one in Bournemouth, and there's one at Sobo up the other end. It's just for men to get out and go for a walk and just talk. And because walking and talking is really quite cathartic, and it can really help with your mental state, not only your physical state. Obviously going for a walk is great, the exercise, but the connecting with other people. And sometimes it's great when they are strangers, because it's quite amazing how people offload all their worries and stress, and you can offload. You can't tell your wife, your partner, you can't tell your girlfriend, you can't tell people because you're worried about what they might say. But when you're walking and talking to someone that you don't know, you can offload it, and you get an unbiased opinion of other people's ideas and thoughts. I'm now standing on my favourite groin. If you've watched any of my crazy morning videos, Facebook, this is number 19, the average age of American soldiers that went to war in Vietnam. There's a young girl here doing some exercises in the sea. I haven't been in the sea yet. I keep meaning to. I've only got up to my ankles. Still bloody cold. But if you know anything about, is it the Hoff? Sorry, what's his name? The Iceman. Yeah, there's a real growth in cold water swimming and cold water therapy. In fact, there's a saltwater sauna has now opened a sauna just up the road, which we'll walk past in a minute. But I'll give you a couple of minutes to just watch the sea and don't listen to Chris B. There we go. Another tent, there we go. The tents are here. What do you call a wigwam and a teepee? 2 tents. That's what happens when you get 2 tents. Oh yeah. Meet me where the sun touches the sea. That is a garage for the land trains that go up and down here on the promenade. We have a beach hut just over there. My daughter and I were saying that it was mine, but we hardly used it, so it's now just my daughter's. You couldn't believe it. How much do you think a beach hut from the council is? £2,500 a year, £2,500 a year, and there's thousands and thousands of them. Every time you walk past 4 beach huts, that's £1,000 a year they're getting. I think I worked it out, nearly 10 million. They earn nearly 10 million a year, BCP, just from the beach huts. Anyway, that's the sort of thing I'll be talking about Will I be talking about anything? There isn't anything that I won't talk about. So you might want to put your fingers in your ears occasionally. Oh, yeah. I thought to myself, no, I won't. I will steer away from religion and politics because that's dangerous. But no, I've got no one down here telling me what I should or shouldn't say. We wait to see what YouTube does with my videos. Yeah, I've been blocked a few times on Facebook. There's the Albany building, and it's about the largest high-rise block along the cliff here. Lovely views, beautiful views. And I had a friend, a solicitor friend, that had an apartment there looking out to sea. Absolutely gorgeous. Going into the downstairs, it's like a 1970s James Bond movie. It's really 1970s, and there's security there and everything. And that's more likely why the service charges are so expensive. 300 quid a week. They're not that bad. They're not that dear to buy the apartments, but 300. That's 15 grand a year just for your service charge. Anyway. There's the seagulls. It's amazing. You can see the whole circle of life here, down here in the mornings. The circle of life of these seagulls. Anyway, you see them as tiny little birds. And then growing. You very rarely see dead ones. Very rarely see dead ones. It makes you wonder where they go. Obviously, their nests must be up here. Yeah, so there's a lot of walk and talks. Lots and lots of walk and talks for men of all different ages. No restrictions. So Sandbanks, Bournemouth, Boscombe, and now up at Sobo, that meet on different times of the week to just go for a walk and talk, which made me think more about why I'm doing this, really, because there is a lot of people that can't get out down to the beach. Obviously, maybe they're landlocked, maybe you're not well, or maybe you're just too shy, maybe you're suffering with depression, maybe you're off your head on something, and you're trying to get the courage to get out, or you're just stuck. I don't know, you're just stuck. Because I know for myself, as I said, going back, because I reckon I've been through virtually everything that you can go through. I know how hard it is. So getting out, having a walk, having a talk is a great way to get yourself back out and realising that really life is wonderful. Chris, be happy. That's what I kept saying to myself, and that's why I called my YouTube channel, I suppose it may be, is Chris, be happy. Yeah, but so why am I doing these videos? Why am I doing these blogs? Well, for the people who can't get out, haven't got the courage yet to leave, or are just a bit bored and want to have a bit of a laugh, this is for them. So just maybe soak in. It's a pity I couldn't send the smells, the senses, the smells, the feelings, your touch, everything. Yeah, it's amazing what we've all been given, our senses, aren't they? How amazing we've been given everything we need, and we don't really realise it, do we? It's wonderful with people out with their dogs. We babysat my daughter's two little chihuahuas, two little chihuahua pups over the weekend. Crazy little things, but really wonderful. Yeah, yapping a lot in the night kept my wife up. Oh. Yeah, so the idea is to try and make just one video, one take, a bit like Van Morrison. Just do one take. No editing. I hate sitting there with a bloody laptop messing about. Just it takes the dairy out of the wonderful walk. You've got to go then get this video then and take it to the get it edited in Sweet Lane. Sit down and sit in the office. Oh, no thank you, no thank you. So if this isn't perfect, I do apologise, but it's going to just be the one take and upload. And if you enjoy it, great. If you don't, no worries, don't watch it again. Oh, yeah, so where do I start? Where do I start on the life journey of trying to make people realise that the most important thing in life is to be happy, Chris, be happy, that's right. And obviously the reason I use the name B is because that is my name, Chris Double B, which I was given to by my dad, my hero. Many people have footballers or superheroes as their hero, but my dad was my hero. A real East End man, born by the sound of Bow Bells in the East End. Mum died when he was about 2 years old, and then his stepmum died at about 4, and they put him into Dr. Bernardo's because my granddad couldn't look after him. Yeah, that brings tears to my eyes though, the wind. Told the stories many times, but we've talked about how hard we have it now. We haven't got it hard, bloody hell. Central heating, hot water, TVs, phones, everything. We are really now in a time. Do you know the 7 deadly sins? We are now in a time of the 7 deadly sins. If anything, we are in a time now of gluttony. We've got everything, and we're still moaning, which proves getting everything you want does not make you happy, and that's part of what my walks are all about. Happiness is in here. It's in here. I have want. My dad used to call me Mr. Want. I'm just walking under Boscombe Pier. Look at that. What is that's beautiful, isn't it? What a picture. What a picture. Stick it in your album. So I can't help it. Every now and again I've been listening to some of the old East End songs, you know, knees up, mother, brown. I can't help it. Yeah. I'm regressing maybe. Look at that. Oh. Yeah, you realise gluttony. I mean, who would have thought that it's got to a stage where people are eating so much they can't get out of bed? They can't eat, so just eating. But you come to a stage and say, well, I'll stop eating. Nah. Hey, and then they're lying to themselves. I haven't been eating. There's whole shows about people eating too much. It's mental, isn't it? Hey, people drink too much. Do too much of everything, smoke too much, drink too much, everything too much. Yeah, people make too much money. They've got everything. Mental. And once they've got all the money, they've got so much money, they don't want anyone else having it. So they find ways of hiding it and pass it on to the kids, and then the kids get it and they just turn into total twats. And then they start eating. Part of my wife's life decisions was to spend 3 months out this country over the winter. So currently we've been going to Lanzarote every winter for the past 4 years, and it's been absolutely wonderful. Last year's weather was a little bit hit and miss. It's the most rain that Lanzarote has ever had, supposedly. But over there. I suppose it's the longest promenade, 30 miles or so you can go. Promenade walk, all along Porter Calm and all the way nearly up to the airport. Well, up to the airport, yeah. But you can hire the disabled electric scooters. And we're talking about gluttony. enormous people just going up, down. I mean, you know, if you've lost your leg, I don't know, I shouldn't be talking about it because there's a lot of people sitting there now trying to beat an addiction, trying to get themselves sorted, going, oh, I'm all right, you know. But it takes courage. It takes courage. And it's not until you make that decision inside your soul to make that change. You have to make that decision. It's when the pain of remaining the same is more than the pain of making the decision to change. Did you understand it? Once I got diagnosed with prostate cancer about 4 years ago, I gave up smoking and I gave up drinking. Boom, like that. And I haven't touched an alcoholic drink. Saying I've had one or two small glasses of wine and I haven't had a cigarette. Behind me is the overstand, and that's where the new sauna is just about to open, and the Urban Reef restaurant, and they do a lovely pizza next door. There's the Harvester up there where you get a free salad. Hello, mate. Yeah. So we just walked past Boscombe Pier, where they put in a surf reef, organised by, of course, BCP. Oh, it wouldn't have been BCP, whatever, Bournemouth Council. I think it was a German or Swedish company that came in and dropped these enormous bags of sand dropped into the sea, which were meant to create an artificial surfing reef. Of course, it didn't work. I think it worked for a few months, and then it didn't work. And basically, I think the company that did it went skint. But on the back of that, Honeycomb Beach was built. Absolutely glorious, and I must admit, this part of Bournemouth or Boscombe has been regenerated, and it's absolutely, I mean, the change that I've seen since being here the past 20 odd years has been miraculous. Absolutely glorious. Anyway, I'll just give you a couple of minutes or a little bit of time to just soak in the sea rather than listening to Crispy. Oh, can you smell that, the salt air? That's why Bournemouth was so successful in the Victorian era. People came down here, went to Bath and places that is for the respiratory properties. Basically, I don't know if anybody knows about the healing properties of salt, but if you inhale salt air, it is really good for your respiratory if you have problems with asthma. Yeah, it is really good. Supposedly, people who work in salt mines never have problems. Just a silly fact. Up on these cliffs here, there are the Boscombe and Bournemouth goats. Yeah. I can't see them at the moment. If I see them, I'll point them out as we're going along. I'm just going to walk here up to the lodges, the Bournemouth lodges, and then make my way back. This being my very first video, I don't want to overstretch my welcome. See if I can hold your attention for the whole walk. Yeah, so we're walking up now to what's called Bournemouth Lodges, and it's the only place along this whole stretch where you can legally spend the night overlooking the sea. Absolutely glorious. I think you have to book a minimum of 3 nights, and you're looking at about £500 or £600, £700, I think, for the 3 nights. But how absolutely glorious! I've been meaning to do it, but it seems a little bit pointless throwing £600-700 away when we only live 800 yards away from it, and I can walk down here anyway. Maybe one day I'll surprise the wife and say we booked one of these. Just getting closer to them now. So yeah, if you're struggling and trying to find a way to get past what's holding you back, if you've watched any of my Facebook morning blogs, you'll see I'm very much into the 12 universal laws, which have really helped me a great deal. It's not a religion, it's a philosophy for life, and it's helped me a great deal, which then led me into Buddhism. I'm not becoming a Buddhist, but I have been studying Buddhism now for the past year, and that I've found that extremely helpful. And the strange thing is, as I've explained on my Facebook blogs, that I'm a dyslexic fool. Well, that's what I was told. An idiot in class in the 1960s, back in South London, I imagine all over the country. If you couldn't read or write, you were labelled an idiot. And that's exactly what I was. And I learnt how to put out my hand and get the K. Well, it started with a ruler. Started with the ruler out the hand. Then it went to the slipper. Then it went to the cane. I even got a cricket bat once, and I even got punched in the face by a sports teacher. I could have destroyed his career, but I was a cheeky little bastard. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you keep calling someone an idiot. You keep calling someone stupid, they start to believe it. And I just used to play up all the time, and in the end, I said, no, you're not doing that to me anymore. And I refused. I think at the age of 15, I was getting bigger and stronger. I said, no, you ain't doing that to me anymore. He said, put your hand out. I said, no, I ain't doing it. He said, but you can't do that. I said, I don't care. You ain't hitting me again. You ain't hitting me again. No way. So I'll tell your parents. I said, go on then. But I was disruptive, I must admit. I was more likely a real pain in the arse for the teachers in them days, making jokes, snide remarks. I might even try to smoke a few times in the classroom. So yeah, I'm more likely to deserve a bit of a slap. Well, as it was the rules of that time. But it gets into your soul, sinks into your soul that you are the stupid one, you are the idiot. And I could never finish or read a book, which leads me all the way on to back in COVID. I decided to sign up for audio books, and since then I've been consuming books. self-help books. educational books, psychology, Socrates. Jesus Christ. I started at Socrates, the full life of Socrates. 74 hours I've had to sort of like give it a bit of a miss. Anyway, here we are at Nowt Manor Steps and the Bournemouth Lodges. There you go. There's a sign there if you want to grab it. Book yourself a nice little break here. Here's the one of the kiosks. One of the other things you might notice, obviously if you listen to my other blogs, I'm always talking about the discrepancy between the public sector and the private sector. It's well known that anything the public sector touches goes wrong, doesn't it? Being a dyslexic entrepreneur, made millions, lost millions, given millions away many times. I know the stresses of trying to run businesses and the constraints that the government put on us. But it's a well-known fact that within all of the council buildings around the United Kingdom, the word profit is outlawed. You're not allowed to say the word profit. You're not allowed to say the word profit. Break even would be nice. They don't make a profit. They can't break even. There are little kiosks like that dotted along here, and they believe it's all about public service. It's all about public service, but if you or I had that, we'd more likely be open there now. You'd be open there at 6:30 to catch all the cyclists, all the dog walkers. You'd take another few £100 between what time? If they might, I'm not even sure if they're going to not open up until the weekend. I don't know, but usually I think their opening hours are 10 till 3 or something like that. Oh, you listen to the birds. Sometimes just listening to the bird. Oh well. Yeah, sometimes just listening to nature is what takes you back, brings you back and centres you, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'm a little bit, I have to change hands now because that one's going to sleep a little bit. So I'm walking on our way back now towards Honeycomb. And if you're still listening to me, thank you for holding on. Oh dear. Yeah, every fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every 4, as my wife pointed out the other day, every fourth hut is £1,000 a year that's coming in to BCP Council. And I said, I think I worked it out to be nearly 10 million a year revenue coming into the council. Look at the sand, look. Sand everywhere. Yesterday as we were walking on is, once again, council workers out with the old shovel, diggers putting the sand from there back onto the beach. Why? Oh why? Oh why? Oh why did they remove the drop? Before, the sand used to blow up against here, and there was a drop of about 2 foot. And the sand, all the sand, would stay on to the beach. But as I said, I think a couple of people have fallen over and maybe twisted their ankle, and the whole 10 miles of sand had to be changed, and they raised the sand. Must have been millions and millions, and raised the sand right up to the top. But now every morning the sand blows across onto the road and fills it up. Insane, isn't it? There's some lovely artwork being drawn along here, and I think it's the daughter of a very good friend of mine who does the artwork. Who was I before life fell so dark, dusk fell as dusk upon sea and waves wrapped around me. Yeah, absolutely glorious. One thing I do like about this walk is the amount of toilets, because anybody else out there who's got an enlarged prostate or prostate cancer the same as myself, you know that having a toilet nearby when you want one is very important. And well, hopefully I've now actually made a decision to have an operation called PAE. They're going from a different way. It cuts off the blood supply to the prostate and makes it shrink. All different, depends on, we're all different, so basically you've got to speak to your consultant, but that's the one I'm planning to see if I can have it. But my aneurysms that I have, my enlarged aneurysms, got to make sure that they're not going to cause a problem either. So yeah, there's other things that we're going to be talking about, as well as making money, losing money, love, relationships, politics, religions, health, Buddhism, books, cars, sex. Sex, yeah. The one thing that's supposedly we're all driven by. Sex and money. But not necessarily true, But when you realise that we are actually 98.5% a bonobo ape, and all they do all day is play, eat and shag. That's all they do. And they are the happiest animals on the planet, and us humans are descendant from them. 98.5% same DNA. Amazing, isn't it? Mind you, this will make you laugh. We're actually 60% DNA the same as a banana. And I think, so memory, yes, that's right. Why do scientists use rats? Why do scientists use rats to do experiments on? Social experiments, drug trials. Why have they always used rats? Because they are actually 90%, might be 92% same DNA. And they have a lot of very similar characteristics. They actually live very similar to us humans. Once you take away our conscious mind, socially we actually are very similar to the way rats live. My wife hates rats. Most people hate rats, don't they? But all you got to do is put a fluffy tail on them and then people love them. Oh, they're lovely. There's a difference between a squirrel and a rat. Like, not a lot, is there? One lives in the trees, one lives under the ground. Anyway, we've walked past the overstand and the restaurant and the Pizza Hut, the oven-baked pizzas where you can get yourself a nice pizza there. I think it's 16, 18 quid. I do them at home for nothing. Crispy pizzas, made them yesterday again. Give the wife a rest. The harvester here now has been refurbished last year. It needed it as well. When we first came down here, say 20 odd years ago, this was a real mess. And yeah, and slowly they've been doing it up and refurbing it. I wouldn't call it culinary delights, but it's a nice place for a meal, a cup of coffee and a drink. I sometimes stop off there and get myself a nice pot of tea. Anyway, we're now getting close to the end of my very first Bournemouth or Boscombe beach walk, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to start trying to do one of these regularly. I'm not going to put a time limit or time scale on it because it might interrupt my life, which I'm trying not to do. This here, I'm climbing up now, has something to do with the waterworks. It's like a water pump station, I think this is, but it does help to give an absolutely glorious view of the whole area. And enjoy. There's Bournemouth Beer. Well, come to the end of my very first YouTube video. I hope you've enjoyed the morning walk with me. It's gone very quickly for me. I hope it has for you. And if you're at home and you're struggling and you're thinking, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get back to normal? How am I going to change my life? Just start with one day at a time, 24 hours at a time, if not even an hour at a time. Give yourself little tasks, little incremental steps. Don't think of doing something big. Just think about maybe tidying up your sock drawer. Sometimes just tidying up your sock drawer helps. I've got that one thing done today. Then tidying up little bits and pieces. Get your shoes on, and get down, get out, and get yourself a walk. Whatever you're doing out there, have an amazing day today. See you soon, and remember, Chris, be happy. See you soon.